Alright guys, welcome back. Jared at 3Cs. I wasn't going to film this because I thought this was going to be just another cooling fan kit install, but Beta has changed their kits. So they've added a jumper wire, and this is for 2022 and newer. So I actually printed the instructions off of the Beta website, and I'll throw in here because I don't think everybody understands how cool the Beta website is. There's a whole spot where you can find every accessory instruction right on the Beta website. So they don't come in the box because you can print it, and they don't come in the box because when they change the instructions, they can just change them PDF wise and then you get it. And that's the importance of this, is because as of today, when this video is being made, the instructions are still wrong. I did talk to the guys at Beta today, and they are going to redo the instructions and they're going to put them up online. So that's why they don't come in the box, they come up online, so you can just print the new ones. So this is the old instructions, and the old instructions would have had you, and we're jumping ahead a little bit here, but the old instructions would have had just the cooling fan wire, and I'm just going to show you the cooling fan wire. This itself would have plugged straight into the bike. That's all we would have been doing after I assemble it on the back of the radiator. But now we have this whole jumper wire assembly, and Beta said today, and when I talked to the guys, that this must be some sort of relay or fuse in here. It's going to protect the ECU, so if there's like a bad ground or a short, it doesn't go back into the bike. So now my fan's going to plug into here, and then this is going to go into the bike. So, and then there's a ground there as well that we're going to connect. So typically in the past, come on in, Steph, let me show you what we did. So I don't really want to tip this up too far. Well, there probably shouldn't be any cooling anyway. But the radiator came off. There was two bolts, one there, one up there. There was just these two. I'm not holding, yeah, see, we're dripping. So anyway, the radiator came off like this, came off the side of the bike, and before I could do that, I took the shroud off. In the past, this is all I had to do. I could cheat. I could leave the gas tank on the bike, and the shroud came off with one bolt in the radiator, right here, one up here, one here, and one here. So we had 3 shroud bolts on the tank and then one on the radiator, and this came off because in the past, come on right in here and I'll show you. This is what I was looking for, was this little plug-in right here. So look how easy that was to get to. But now I have to add a ground. So I'm going to actually take the gas tank completely off the bike now. And to remove a Beta gas tank, let me loosen this other shroud bolt and we'll come back to it. So I'm going to loosen the shroud bolt over here. To take the gas tank off, we would have taken this lower shroud bolt out right here that goes into the radiator on both sides. And these ones could have stayed on, but because I've already disconnected it, I'm going to take it back off of here for now. Now we do have, the next thing we're going to do is our fuel line. You'll see down here, and this is probably built up with pressure. This bike hasn't been run today, so probably not. But if your fuel pump had pressurized all this, there'd be a lot of pressure in here. So I always take like a paper towel, and I just wrap it around here. And I'm going to push on the back side of this quick connect coupler right here. So I'm going to kind of hide it. That way if there's any fuel, okay, this one's not too bad. It's not too wet. Maybe some gas will drip out once I get that. You can see a little bit of gas coming out, and that's okay. So now that that's out, we're going to take our gas tank bolt off on the top. I'll switch sides with you here. Ooh, it's starting to rain. We might have to shut our door here in a minute. So we're going to take this 8mm out here. And this is going to have like a stepped washer on it so it doesn't put pressure on the gas tank. So we'll have to put that back on. Now that that's off and the other shroud bolt is out of the radiator over there, I'm going to pick up on the back of it. And this is our fuel pump power. We're going to release that. And then I'm going to rock up even further. I'm just rocking it. And this is our low fuel light over here on this side of the gas tank. I'm going to disconnect that. And then there's one more. So come up in this angle to the front here. And this is pretty tough for you guys to see. I'm going to pull this back, and this is your dual ignition map. It's right here. Oh, can the camera see that down in there? Can you see it? This wire that's touching here goes down through the frame, and then it's this 3-prong. So I'm gonna disconnect it, and I'm gonna pull it through the frame. And then you have your overflow tube. So that's disconnected. So now the whole gas tank is out of the way. So that's how you get your gas tank off your Beta. Okay, now we got the gas tank off the bike. Let's talk about the kit that you get. So in this kit, everything on the counter, this is, like we removed that, but this is all your stuff that comes with the kit. So this is our jumper wire, this is our fan, these are our brackets. And so these brackets are going to look different than the instruction because you can see the bottom one now has this spot for this thing to slide over and kind of have like a nice little holder for it. So you'll see on the side of the radiator, there's already predetermined holes here for your bracket. So the bracket's going to sit on here like this. We're going to stretch it over the radiator, and you'll see right there, we're going to be able to put a rivet right into there and hold the bracket. So first thing we're going to do is build the fan on the bracket, and then we'll sandwich the bracket to the radiator. Okay, so I went ahead and I assembled the brackets on the fan first, and you'll see that I have the fan wire coming out the bottom, and then our packet of new wires are going to poke on top of this bracket over here. So what's different on this radiator is you'll see on this side there's only 2 holes, but on this side you had 2 lower holes to worry about. And so it's nice whenever the fan's already on the brackets, because now all we have to do is just lay them on here and they'll line right up for us. So you can see this side is perfect there, and I'll spin it around, and I just kind of get everything lined up better. So I'm just going to rivet all this together now. We're going to get all 4 of these rivets. They're all supplied. We'll get these installed next. Alright, so now we got the fan mounted on the back of the radiator. I'm happy with it. Rivets went in really well. We're all set there. I can slide a radiator back on. So I have 2 coolant hoses to worry about. We already got our clamps on there. I just kind of left them on there, just loosened them up a lot. So 2 clamps, 2 bolts, and then we can show you the wiring. That's truly the only thing that's really different on these new 2022 and newer bikes. So side note for you guys, 2022 and newer don't actually use the, this would be like your coolant sensor. There is no coolant sensor. The 2-strokes still do, but the 4-strokes are using the coolant temp sensor that's already in the cylinder head just through the computer to turn this on. So nothing more it used to be than just plugging this in, but now we got 1 more jumper wire. So we're going to start. I always start by doing the lower coolant hose first. Just kind of like shove it on like that. And then on the front side, I'm just kind of lining these hoses up. I've got, or not hoses, these bolts up. And then I'm going to get this hose lined up as well. So this hose goes all the way through to the top to the other side. And some people can put grease. Kind of show this side stuff right here real quick. So right here, I just put 1, 2, and then that hose naturally, you know, pretty much comes all the way over, just because when the bolts are in, it all lines up really nice. So I'm going to tighten the bolts up first to suck the radiator over as far as I can. That way we can tighten this top clamp. Now that we got the 2 bolts tight, we're going to get these hose clamps tight. And this top one is a little tougher to get to with like the longer screwdrivers, just because your rear fenders or the back of the front fenders in the way. So like I'll use a stubby screwdriver to get this tight up in here. So I'll get that tight, and then the bottom one is pretty easy down here. So you can switch back to just like a regular length screwdriver. You know, just kind of bring it up like this. This is the angle that it was at before, and we'll just get these tightened up nicely. So I'll get both of these tight, and then we'll come right back. So before we do any of the wiring, I'm going to pull these 2 tubes up. So one of these is your overflow. So if this gets too hot and your cap releases, this is where the overflow for the coolant is going to go down and out. And then this one was the overflow for the gas. So I'm just going to get these on the back side of the radiator because they had fallen and they were laying in the front. So this one can get hooked up now because our radiator's in place. Kind of get them tucked back around the edge. I'm going to start to thunder on us here in a second. I can hear it. It's cool. So then this one's just going to go in the tank later. So we're not too worried about that one yet. So now we can get our wiring going on. So this being the first one of these that I've done, I'm just kind of looking at how I want to lay this out. So if I laid it in here like this, we would still be able to get this one. We can kind of connect it right away. Let's connect this one first. And there's only one way to do this because there's male and female. So we're going to go in there like this. And I think I'm going to try to get it to go so that our connector is down. I'm not sure if there's going to be room for that. So let's try it first. Let's see how it looks here. Okay, that's our connector facing down. And I can zip tie all this. We can make it look much better here in a second. So I'm trying to get my ground wire out of the way here. I think I'm going to end up, I'll zip tie that over there. We're going to connect the other half of it. I'm going to make sure. He just bought the bike on Saturday. Ooh, and this is Monday. There was a flash out there. Yeah, I'm going to plug this in. Now our ground wire is on the other side. So I'm going to fish this through here. I'm going to find a good spot. Let's see. Nice and clean here, nothing in its way. We'll fish it through there. Let's go over there and we'll show you where the ground is. So this is where we're gonna put our ground. And if you guys have had problems with your bikes running kind of funky, I highly suggest you check this. I just turned the bike for better lighting. So right here, I'm gonna undo this. There's a rib nut in the frame right here, and I'll show you the rib nut in a second. I just had a bike come in. A gentleman was from Pittsburgh. He drove it up. Might have been Friday of last week. And it was his rib nut and his frame was loose. So I'm gonna move this. There's one ground that we gotta remember. And then behind here, see that rib nut in the frame there? Down in there. That's called the rib nut. And so this one's tight. I'm checking it. I'm trying to get it to rock back and forth. And this one's not rocking, so we're okay. Then you can tighten rib nuts if you just YouTube it. You don't have to have any special tools to do that. But we're gonna add this to the ground. Like I said, this bike just sold last week, so it's still pretty clean. We can bring this one in, and I always check to make sure like this rubber isn't down behind the head of the bolt. You know, like when they dipped the wire. This one's good though. You can see the bolts clearing all of that. I'm gonna shove it in this one as well. We'll get our bracket, and then we're gonna get all this line right back up. And I always try to like have like a good angle. So I want this wire to kind of stay in this angle. I don't want when we tighten it for it to get forced to the front too much. It can rotate a little bit. So let me get my tool here to tighten this down. And right now I'm just going to apply some pressure here. Nice and tight. There we go. So our grounds are perfect. I like how solid it is. It's not moving. So the rib nut is good in this frame. Check yours as you're doing this. So both grounds and the bracket are back in place. Okay, so I've already got like the stator wires. These stator wires coming up through here already are pretty firm. And I'm not going to make this super tight. We just want to get this stuff pulled away over here. So I'm going to kind of just tighten that down just a little bit. Nothing's getting pinched or pulled. Everything's clear in every bracket really nicely. So I kind of like that. It's over out of the way. So it's going to be one zip tie. The second zip tie, I might just try to snug this one over that way too. So if I just go down through there and get my fingers to work. And again, this one's not going to be very tight at all. I just want to pull, basically just want to keep this wire away from the fan blade. So all you gotta do now is zip tie or cut these off of here. It's installed. So the fan is mounted to the brackets with the 4 supplied self-tapping screws. Then we riveted it to the radiator. Radiator's reinstalled with the 2 bolts. Got our hose clamps both tight. We got our coolant overflow reconnected. We got our ground wire connected, and both of our connectors are connected. I like how it's all zip tied out of the way over there. And then now I just gotta set our gas tank back on. All right guys, that's gonna wrap this video up. The last thing I have to do is put our coolant back in the bike. So we're gonna reinstall the coolant, and then it's raining pretty good. So next step would be to take the bike outside, run it, let it get to temp, make sure the cooling fan kicks on, cools back off. And I do that by using the dealer tool. I use the dealer tool, shows me the engine temp. Once it hits like 215, 219, that fan should kick on and cool this bike back down. So thanks for watching. I wasn't gonna do a video, but because they changed this stuff, I thought it'd be smart to do. So enjoy the ride, we'll see you on the trail. I thought I would show it at the end here. I stepped away from the bike so you can hear me, but engine coolant temperature, if we follow that line over, it's currently at like 185. It's kind of climbing there, 186. We'll go back over to the bike, and when that hits, like I said, about 215, we'll see the cooling fan kick on with it here. 215, fan's on. And then you'll see it calm back down a little bit. Fan's doing its job. It'll pull the temp back down on the bike.